Hello everyone, I'm Wendell Jones and welcome to this edition of the program, The Platform. On this program, we examine national issues. Our court system is backlogged. On the civil side, in the Supreme Court, there are many cases that must be heard. Indeed, lawyers are getting dates as far back as 2017 for some matters to be heard. And there are some issues before the courts that really should not be there. And on our program today, we are going to talk about some of these issues. And some of them have to do with petty feuds that are going on in our country. Take, for instance, the one involving Louis Bacon and Peter Nygaard being brought before the courts for judicial review. The process of the court in many cases, it is being really abused. And so in our program today, we're going to talk about this. And I've invited Mr. Vivian Whylly here today, who is an activist in many ways and who is quite familiar with the saga going on at Lyford Key to talk about it. Vivian, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Wendell, and it's good to be here. Season's greetings to the Bahamas and to yourself and to JCN.
Thank you so very much.
Yes.
Many people have said to me that you are a straight shooter and that we should get you on our program more often, and so it's a delight to have you here today. But you heard me talk about the process being abused, especially at the level of the Supreme Court, dealing with judicial reviews. What is your take?
Mr. Jones, my take on this matter is a simple one. I find that the coalition, as a non-lawyer, just as a person, Joe Public, I find that the coalition to save the Bays or Save the Bays coalition has gone into almost terroristic mode in trying to stop the permitting process of one gentleman who is a friend of the Bahamas. It states in their own constitution that the coalition to save the Bays, or Save the Bays as they ultimately became, their main issue is to stop the rebuilding of Nygaard Key. What they have done is they have hired a Queen's Counsel who has good legal kung fu skills, and their job is to, under the disguise of a judicial review, delay the process for the permitting of the rebuilding of Peter Nygaard's home. Peter Nygaard is a friend of mine. He is a friend of the Bahamas. He's a friend of almost anybody that comes to him with genuine need. He is sponsored regattas on regattas. He has sponsored boxing. He has sponsored track and field. He has sponsored volleyball. He has just recently co-sponsored with the Royal Bahamas Defense Force and Clifton Heritage National Park. He has brought the children from the park where certain persons out of Lyford Key promised that they would have the park ready, but it wasn't ready and they were about to cancel the summer camp, and Mr. Nygaard said, "What do you need?"
His philanthropy is well known in the Bahamas. I mean, most Bahamians now would know of the huge contribution that he has made to national development in many ways, whether it is in sports or whether it's in other civic pursuits. And so that is well known. He's being abused, isn't he?
Peter Nygaard is being abused by Louis Bacon. He is being abused because Mr. Bacon is using his billions of dollars to sue Mr. Nygaard, to sue the Prime Minister, to sue the Deputy Prime Minister as Minister of Works, to sue the Minister of whatever his lawyer said to sue. He's suing everybody. What I see happening is almost like a no-win situation where one daily tabloid has even gone as far as printing a story to say that Peter Nygaard wanted to build a stem cell hospital in Lyford Key. That is wrong. That is an untruth. And the newspaper, they know who they are. Some of their owners live in Lyford Key, and this is a whole ruse by the persons who are members of the Lyford Key Club, of which Mr. Nygaard is not, because he refused to wear the dress code. He's a fashion designer. He wears blue jeans and a Nygaard top or something that he designed that's very masculine also. And you find that these are the people who disguise themselves behind environmental issues to try and control your land.
And these environmental issues are being put before the courts. Why would the court entertain so many judicial reviews? Why would these be entertained in the first place?
The reason why I'm here is I'm calling on the government of the Bahamas and the friends of the Bahamas in this time of fellowshipping and jollification and giving, to give back something to a friend whose house was burnt from 2009. They have been it's been filibustered, it's been delayed. And when Mr. Bacon and his crew didn't get it this way, they're trying it that way. And if they don't win this way, trust me, there's going to be another attempt to delay. But as God is on his throne, justice will prevail.
And one of the reasons why the house has not been reconstructed, or the government has not given permission as of yet, one has to do with the judicial review.
That's the main one. See, Bahamas. A person, it is my understanding, Mr. Jones, that a person who is applying for a permit to rebuild a house need only put in the structural plans of the building. It goes to the Ministry of Works. It would go to, I think it's the Town Planning Committee. They would do their review, and then they would come to a decision as to whether you allow Mr. Nygaard to rebuild or not to build. That is the process that is being hindered by convoluting the issues of the environment with the issue of a building permit. What they have done is join something from the Department of Physical Planning onto the town planning, which are two different entities. Physical planning, I understand, entails commercial, residential, industrial, any type of zoning. But the actual permit process goes to a whole different committee. By including the permitting process in their judicial review, this was just another way that Louis Bacon and Save the Bays are using to stop not only Peter Nygaard. He has children, and they have children. That is their home. They are friends of the Bahamas. I call on the government to ask Louis Bacon kindly, if he does not like how the government process is run, he needs to apply for citizenship so he can vote for a change.
Well, what amazes me, Vivian Whylly, is that Bacon is not Bahamian, but yet he can retain lawyers to tie up your court system in the Bahamas, to frustrate the government of the Bahamas from doing some things that they legitimately want to do.
Mr. Jones, one of the reasons I like to come on your show is because you see clearly what I am showing the Bahamian people. And it is exactly that. Louis Bacon has been a person who has been a thorn in the side of our government. Mind you, this is the same Louis Bacon that has had to pay fines for insider trading. The principle is this: Louis Bacon wants it his way or no way. And as an American or a Canadian, or we know he's an American, he should pay attention to what is happening in America, because he has his right to vote over there. Over here, all he's doing is causing somebody who is our friend to be out of his home, out of his leisure, and out of his comfort. See, this is no longer about a beach. You know, if you peel the onion, Mr. Jones, you'll get to the core of it. This is not about a beach and sand. This is about Louis Bacon, Save the Bays, and all these lawyers who they hire. And if you don't pay a lawyer, he ain't gonna work. I don't know which one of them working free. And if any of y'all working free, prove me wrong. All they're doing, Bahamas, lawyers work by the hour. What Louis Bacon has in his treasury, in his pocket, he can pay lawyers to work for the next 1,000 years at their hourly rate. And it's my experience that not only does he want them to file a suit, it appears to me that somebody that Louis Bacon probably said to them, take as long as you can. Delay, delay, delay. Mr. Louis Bacon, Save the Bays. I am a descendant of the slaves of the Whylly plantation. Mr. Peter Nygaard has been a friend of the Bahamas. Every time we have ever had any interaction with persons like Louis Bacon or Louis Bacon himself, it has always been, he is the master, I'm the slave. I'm not a slave, I'm an educated man, and I'm telling the Bahamas, this is a foreign man with an agenda to push the Bahamas into subjugation to white rule.
Vivian Whylly, let's take a break here. This is The Platform, and we're speaking with Vivian Whylly today. We'll come right back.